Hi guys, welcome back to SuperSteel Gaming. It's Stiller with you here, and today I want to dive into what the next campaign might be. Now, after the Pacific campaign dropped, I'm sure a lot of us are wondering, okay, what's next? Are they going to just kind of hang out and work on the Pacific, or are they going to do another campaign? And if they do another campaign, what might that look like? So we're going to take a look at that today. Now, before we get into any of those things, I just want to say, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button and give us a like. And leave me a comment down below. I totally want to hear from you guys, and we can have a conversation. Also, check out Major McDonald's Discord. There are a lot of great enlisted content creators and community members, including myself on there, so definitely go check that out. Without further ado, let's get into this thing. So guys, I want to break down this video into three parts. One, the main two theories for what the next campaign is going to be. Secondly, I want to get into some honorable mentions and some pretty good ideas that I've heard, especially on Major McDonald's Discord. And then thirdly, I want to get into some of my own ideas. So I want to talk about three different types of campaigns. We have extension, mini, and full campaigns. Now, a full campaign is the only thing we have featured right now in Enlisted. It has a fleshed out tech tree, several different maps, and almost always a different area of World War II. The Soviet ones are still technically different areas of World War II, even though they're in the same theater. Now, a mini campaign is a smaller campaign with one, maybe two maps, and a smaller tech tree, and something cool to draw people in, at least that's my thought. And it would be kind of similar to an event, except permanent and with an actual tech tree. An extension campaign is an addition to an existing campaign and would also feature an additional faction, an additional map or a couple of maps, and more in the tech tree. This is by far the hardest because of the fact that you already have an existing tech tree, so it makes it difficult, but you could still do it. I mean, it's difficult because you have all these issues like where you're going to put it. Are you going to give them lower level technology? You're going to give them higher level technology? Like, how are you going to do that? You're going to make it where only high advanced players are able to get into their new stuff. So there are some things that have to be overcome, but you could technically still do it. The two main theories are the Battle of France, and there are a lot of options for this, seeing that it was a pretty large area, but my main reservation with the Battle of France is that the Germans steamrolled over the French in reality. So, to make it fun and balanced, you're going to need to be unrealistic. Also, you would have at most four factions: Belgium, Britain, Germany, and France, and at least you would have is three. So at the very least you would have three, because you would have Germany, Britain, and France, even if you didn't put Belgium in. And that's a lot of factions for one campaign. So it could be a little bit of an issue because you have so many pieces of tech. Which one's dominant? Well, I would say France. Okay, then Britain. So how are you going to incorporate Belgium? Things like that. So though you can't really count Germany because it only has one tech tree, I'm just saying that you're going to have three factions on one side. So it could be a little bit of an issue, but I don't think it's a massive problem. The biggest issue I see is just, where do you put it? I mean, really, it was a large area. That's great, but like, are you going more Dunkirk? Are you going kind of like while they were getting surrounded? Like, what's your plan there? So, but nonetheless, it is a big theory. But I think the biggest theory of all of them is the Sino-Japanese campaign. Now, the thing is, after the Pacific launched, and it's become, relative to something like Stalingrad, a pretty successful campaign. So they would go for it. Now, I don't know how they would do it concerning time and location. As you can see, like the map I just threw up a second ago, like it's a lot of territory. Like, what are you going to cover? But I could see it. Or they may try jumping back to Europe or maybe even Africa. So I could see them doing any of those things. Like, they may not even want to keep going in the Pacific. They may try to get into the Pacific further. So, like, I have no idea there, but I do think that is a pretty big theory, and there's a large portion of the community who does want that. So I want to throw out some honorable mentions. Some of these I heard on Major McDonald's Discord, and others I just heard on YouTube. So the first one I have heard about is the Battle of the Bulge. So this is a mini campaign idea, and that would just mean a few maps and perhaps some interesting like snowing mechanics or something to draw people in. But it was a mini campaign idea, and I think it was really a really cool idea. And it would be very interesting to see, especially because you could get some non-Russian German winter combat. But there is a Battle of the Bulge mod, so I don't know if people would want it over something else, but I still think it would be a good option and it would be pretty cool. The next one I've heard once or twice is the Invasion of Sicily. I've only heard this one a couple of times, so it would be kind of cool. And that would be like a full campaign, that wouldn't be a mini. And it would be very interesting as well because it actually could be balanced because you don't have like the overpowered Germans and you just have to keep the Americans and British just a little bit lighter equipment. But it would be like Normandy, so that would be an issue that they would have to overcome. But it still could be a very, very cool thing, and I would absolutely love to see that. Now I want to go ahead and talk about a couple of my ideas. The first one is a mini campaign. I put this out actually on Major McDonald's Discord, and I actually got a lot of good responses, and some people thought it was a pretty cool idea. And that would be a night airborne invasion of Norway, in which you have the Germans jumping from planes and Norwegian and possibly British troops to hold them back. Like, to me, I don't know. I know the British were obviously in Norway. I don't know if they would have been in like the airborne part, but like the Norwegian army is going to be so outgunned that I think it would make the campaign a little bit better with a couple of British squads, maybe bringing in an SMG and an LMG just to offset the Germans' MP40s and stuff. And this type of mini campaign actually might have a Hell Let Loose feel with larger maps, and it would most likely be exclusively conquest mode. That's just the only thing that makes sense for me for parachuting, unless you actually develop the parachuting mode. And, you know, it would feature a smaller tech tree, maybe only 12 levels, and most likely one or two maps. But it also could be easier to make than a full campaign because you could spend time working on your airborne stuff and your smaller tech tree and maps instead of having to spend time trying to make all these other maps and flesh all this other stuff out. So, it might just be a little bit easier. And then finally, I wouldn't mind either the Sino-Japanese full campaign or maybe like an extension of the Pacific to include some later islands or post-World War II campaigns such as Korea. Like, I would like to see a couple of post-World War II campaigns come out and Enlisted. I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon, but something like Korea or even as far up as Vietnam at some point in the future would be kind of interesting. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Once again, check out Major McDonald's Discord. It is super awesome. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. Still Arrow, signing out. See you on the battlefield, soldier.